Topping today's news, a man stabbed to death while at a local motel in the South. Police investigate yet another suicide. The Clear Hold Build Crime Initiative moves to Carmichael, and the Ministry of Health concerned about an increase in sexually transmitted diseases among the nation's youth. This is your JCN Evening News. I'm Jarino Saunders. Thank you so much for joining us. Police are actively investigating a stabbing incident that claimed the life of an adult male early this morning. Initial reports reveal that shortly after 2 a.m., police were notified about the incident and responded to a business establishment, a local motel on East Street South. Officers discovered a male on a staircase with apparent stab wounds about the body. Emergency medical personnel examined the male but found no signs of life. Police are investigating and hope to bring this matter to closure in due time. If you do have any information that can assist their investigation, again, you're asked to contact the police at 919-911. You can call CID at 502-9991 or Crime Stoppers at 328-TIPS, 328-8477. Police are also investigating a suspected suicide that has left a 46-year-old male deceased. This incident occurred at a residence on Royal Palm Street off Wilton Street just last night. Police say shortly after 9 p.m., the individual was found inside a home hanging by a cord from the ceiling in a bedroom by a family member who found him. Emergency medical personnel once again visited this scene, but again found no signs of life. Unfortunately, this is already the 5th person to commit suicide this year and follows the death of a 63-year-old male who also hung himself from a private dock on Guana Key in the Abacos on March 5th. There was a 33% increase in suicides in 2024, with 8 incidents compared to 6 reported in 2023. There have also been 6 attempted suicides so far this year. There were 50 attempted suicides recorded in 2024. Police Press Liaison Officer Chief Superintendent Sharia King offers this bit of advice to those who may be contemplating doing the unthinkable.
If you are struggling with any circumstances, if you're having a hard time, reach out to a trusted friend, a pastor, someone where you can confide in and see whether or not they can render assistance to you.
As a reminder, the Bahamas Crisis Center is always available for counseling and comforting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can reach them at 328-0922, 328-0922. After a successful start in the Angliston community, the government's Clear Hold Build anti-crime initiative has been launched in Nassau Village and the Carmichael community. And on Tuesday, the Prime Minister was on hand to witness the clearing of one of the targeted areas in the Flamingo Gardens community. Mr. Davis again reminded that the initiative is part of the government's overall crime-fighting strategy and is proving to be effective.
And having cleaned them down, we hope that the neighborhoods and those who live in the community, we hope to engage them to assist us in continuing to keep it clean. And that's the cry and the charge I give to the neighborhoods, that you help us keep the neighborhood clean. And that's why the other aspect of this program is whole. And the whole means that we'll be have the continued and consistent approach to ensuring that we have the areas clear and clean.
As further proof that clearing of areas used to facilitate crime is working, Assistant Superintendent Natalie Ranger shared this bit of information.
While this property were being cleared down, we would have discovered a .38 revolver with 6 live rounds of ammunition. So that firearm were handed over to CSI for processing.
Also on hand was the Minister of National Security, Wayne Monroe, the MP for the area, Keith Bell, Education Minister, Glenys Hannah Martin from Angliston, Minister of Works, Clay Sweeting, along with the Commissioner of Police, Shanta Knowles. And finally, in this segment, Belinda Wilson, president of the Bahamas Union of Teachers, addressing the issue of the Trump administration threatening to revoke U.S. visas for Bahamian officials due to the Bahamas' engagement with Cuban labor, particularly when it comes to the medical and education sector. Ms. Wilson noted that the Bahamas and Cuba has enjoyed a bilateral agreement for the recruitment of teachers for the public school system for about 20 years now, and says there are currently 130 Cuban teachers engaged throughout our public schools in the Bahamas. She spoke on the importance of having the Cuban teachers in the school system at this time.
These Cuban teachers play a vital role as they fill the gap because of the teacher shortage, especially in those disciplines or subject areas where the local expertise is not readily available.
President Wilson said as far as she is aware, the Cuban teachers enjoy the same benefits as Bahamian teachers. She had a bit of advice for the government in relation to the Trump administration's threat to revoke U.S. visas for Bahamian officials.
I urge the government of the Bahamas to review all the government-sponsored programs to ensure that all of the ministries, departments, and agencies are meeting its obligations. I also urge the Bahamas government to review the Trafficking in Persons Act of 2008 to ensure its effectiveness. Further, I urge the Bahamas government to review the ILO Convention 29, forced labor, to ensure adherence.
President Wilson believes the change in U.S. policy will compel the Bahamian government to pay closer attention and regularly check the development and progress of the Cuban labor export program. You're listening to JCN News. We'll take a break here. We'll be right back following these commercials.